Hey everyone, today we're going to speak of protection, a prayer, a cry, and a shield for your soul. You're standing in the midst of a battle far greater than what your eyes can see, a war for your very heart and mind. This isn't something abstract or distant, it's a daily struggle, a clash between light and darkness that you feel in every quiet hour and restless night. You know that feeling when the world grows cold around you, when the weight of every choice presses on your chest like a stone? That's where we're meeting tonight, right in that raw place of need. So before we begin, take a second to like and subscribe, but only if something inside you wants more of God. And then, comment where you're from, and how long it's been since your last real prayer. Ready? Breathe deep. Clear the noise. Christ is near. Let's begin. You feel the tug in your spirit, the ache that says there must be more than this cycle of surviving and pretending. You see the shadows that gather around your thoughts, whispering that you're not enough, that no one sees you, that hope is a far-off dream. But hear me tonight, you were made for eternity. You were made not for fear but for faith, for the burning certainty that you are held in the heart of the one who loves you without end. This is not a distant hope or a polite phrase for Sunday mornings. This is the truth that defines you, even when the world tries to grind it out of you. Prayer is how you fight back. Prayer is how you remember who you are and to whom you belong. You stand at the crossroads of your soul tonight. You feel the pull of two roads, one that keeps you in the comfortable numbness of the world, and one that leads you deeper into the mystery of God's love. When did you last pray with your whole heart? When did you last let your tears become your offering, your fear become your cry for mercy? Not the rehearsed phrases or the polite words that fade into the noise, but the real, desperate prayer that says, "Lord, I need you. I cannot do this alone." Let that question pierce through every excuse you've been using to stay silent. He is here. Right now. Closer than your breath, closer than the pulse that beats in your chest. He sees it all, the darkness you hide, the thoughts you're ashamed of, the fears that keep you up at night. And still, he stays. Still, he calls you. Still, he says, "Come to me. I will be your shelter. I will be your strength." There is no part of you too broken for him to heal, no sin too heavy for his mercy to lift. Do you believe this? Not in your mind alone, but in your bones, in the hidden places of your heart where the battle rages fiercest? Prayer is not just words. It's a surrender, an act of courage that says, "I will not fight alone anymore." Tonight, let every breath become a confession of your need. Let every thought be turned towards him, even if all you have to offer are the broken pieces. He wants them all. He wants your whole heart, not the version you think he wants to see. Lay down your defenses. Let the walls you've built crumble. There is a fortress far stronger, a shield far surer than anything you could make for yourself. Will you trust him? Will you let him be your refuge instead of your own restless striving? Because you are not meant to carry this weight alone. The battle is real, but so is the victory that has already been won for you. Prayer is the door to that victory. It is the place where heaven breaks through the clouds of your doubt and fear, where grace rushes in like a flood. Tonight, stand in that place. Let the silence of your soul be the loudest cry you've ever made. Let your tears be the holy water that softens the hardest parts of your heart. There is a question he asks of you now: will you let me fight for you? It's a question that demands your whole self, not just the polite parts you show to the world. Will you let him step into the places you've tried to hide, the wounds you've covered in 1,000 ways? Will you let him be your protector, your shelter, your stronghold? This is not about perfection. This is about surrender. And tonight, in this quiet space, that is the only thing he asks of you. So kneel, if you can. Or bow your head. Or let your heart fall open in the silence. Let the noise of the world fade until it's only his voice you hear, whispering peace, whispering mercy, whispering, "You are mine. I will not let you fall." Feel the weight lift off your shoulders, feel the armor of his love settle around you like a shield. This is your birthright as a child of God. This is the protection He promises, not because you've earned it, but because He is faithful. You were made for eternity. You were made for Him. And tonight, in the quiet of your prayer, in the ache of your honesty, let that truth wrap around you like a cloak of light. The battle is real, but so is the victory. The darkness is deep, but the light has already won. And tonight, as you whisper, as you cry, as you let your soul speak in ways you cannot find words for, know this: you are not alone. He is with you. He is your shield. He is your fortress. And you are held, forever. You know how the shadows move in your heart, how they whisper doubt and fear in the quiet hours of the night. You feel it when you lie awake, mind spinning with every mistake you've ever made, every fear that clings to you like a second skin. The shadow of fear is real, and it poisons the well of your soul, turning every drop of hope to bitterness. It's the quiet voice that tells you God has forgotten you, that your prayers are just echoes in an empty sky. But listen now, fear is a liar. The shadow is not the end of your story. You were made for the light. It starts with the smallest lie: you're alone in this. That lie burrows deep, grows roots in your thoughts until you're convinced no one could understand, no one could carry you out of this darkness. But I tell you, fear is a thief. It steals the joy that God has for you, the peace that comes from knowing you are His. You were made for eternity, and fear can never have the final word over a soul that belongs to the King of Kings. Look at your life with honest eyes. How often have you let fear make the final decision? How often has it kept you silent when you longed to speak, kept you small when God was calling you to rise? Tonight is the night to see fear for what it is: a shadow with no power of its own, a whisper that crumbles in the face of truth. And the truth is this: perfect love casts out fear. There is no room for the shadows when the light of Christ floods every corner of your soul. He sees it all. The nights you spend in quiet terror, the days when you hide your trembling hands. He does not turn away. He does not shame you. He stands with you in the middle of the fear and says, "Do not be afraid. I am with you always." It's not a command to toughen up or pretend you're stronger than you are. It's an invitation to rest in Him, to let His love be the fortress that no fear can breach. When was the last time you let yourself be real with God about your fears? Not just the surface worries that come and go, but the deep fears that feel like they own you. Tonight, let that be your prayer. Name them. Lay them out in the quiet of your soul. Let every fear become a chance to trust, a chance to say, "Lord, I cannot, but you can." Because in that surrender, fear loses its grip. This is not a battle you fight alone. The one who holds the stars in place holds you just as surely. Do you hear His promise? I have called you by name. You are mine. No shadow can change that truth. No darkness can swallow the light He brings. And tonight, as you let go of the lies fear has spoken over you, let that truth rise like a song in your soul. You were made for eternity. You were made to stand in the light. There is a choice before you tonight. Will you keep letting fear write your story, or will you let faith have the final word? Because faith is not about never feeling fear, it's about standing in the face of it and saying, "My God is bigger." It's about lifting your eyes from the storm to the one who walks on the waves, who commands the wind and the sea to be still. That is the God who fights for you. That is the God who is your protection. So take a deep breath. Let the air fill your lungs and push out every lie of fear. Let your heart remember that you are not a slave to the darkness. You are a child of the light, called to walk in the radiance of His love. Tonight, let that be your prayer: "Lord, I choose you over fear. I choose faith over doubt. I choose to believe that your love is enough to cast out every shadow in my soul." You were made for eternity. You were made to be fearless, not because of your own strength, but because of His unshakable love. Let that love be your shield tonight. Let it be the fortress that no fear can penetrate. Let it be the song you sing in the darkness, the light that leads you home. Because even in the night, He is with you. Even in the fear, He is faithful. And tonight, as you let every breath be a prayer, know this: you are not alone. He is your protection. He is your peace. And you are held, forever. You feel it in the quiet of your soul, the way your heart hesitates, pulled in two directions by voices that will not be silent. A heart divided is a heart at war, and you know the battle well. You long for the light, yet you keep one foot in the shadows, convinced that you can stand in both worlds. But the truth is this: no man can serve two masters. You were made for the fullness of God, not the scraps of this world's empty promises. There is a restlessness in you, isn't there? A yearning that no amount of distraction can quiet. You scroll, you run, you fill your days with noise, but the ache only grows stronger. And in the stillness, if you dare to be still, you hear the call: return to me with your whole heart. You were not created to live divided, torn between the love of the Father and the empty comfort of passing things. You were made for eternity, and your soul will never be at peace until it rests fully in Him. So tonight, look with honesty at the places where your loyalties are split. Where have you given your heart to things that will never last? Where have you traded the pearl of great price for a handful of dust? These questions are not meant to condemn you. They are meant to call you home. Because every divided heart is a heart in need of healing, and the Father's love is big enough to gather every wandering piece back into wholeness. The world will try to keep you in that place of half-commitment, promising safety in compromise. But you know better. You feel the weight of living with one foot in the kingdom and one foot in the noise of this world. You feel it in the weariness that clings to your bones, in the way every choice feels hollow when your heart is not fully His. Tonight, let that be your prayer: Lord, take all of me. No more division. No more half-steps. I am yours. This is the hard work of the soul, the honest reckoning with what you truly love. The world's promises are loud, but they are empty. The love of Christ is quiet, but it is unbreakable. Let that love be your anchor tonight. Let it draw you out of every compromise, every place where you have settled for less than the fullness of God. You were made for eternity. You were made to live with a heart undivided. Do you feel the pull? That gentle whisper in your soul, calling you to deeper waters? That is not your imagination. That is the Spirit of God, stirring the deepest places of your heart, calling you to let go of everything that holds you back. You were made to be free, and every divided loyalty is a chain He longs to break. So tonight, open your hands. Let the things of this world slip through your fingers. Let the noise fall silent. Let your heart stand bare before the One who sees it all. And in that surrender, feel the weight lift, feel the peace flood in, feel the joy of knowing you are finally where you belong. Because this is the truth that does not change: you were made for eternity. You were made to be His, fully and forever. The world cannot give you what your soul longs for. It can only distract you for a little while, until the ache grows too strong to ignore. Let tonight be the night you stop ignoring it. Let tonight be the night you say, I am done with half measures. I am done with living for what will not last. My heart is yours, Lord, whole and undivided. You are not alone in this. Every saint who has ever walked this road has known the same struggle. Every soul that has ever dared to pray with honesty has faced this same crossroads. But the promise is true: if you seek me with all your heart, you will find me. So tonight, seek Him. Seek Him with every breath, every tear, every wordless ache. And know this: He will not turn you away. He will meet you there, in the quiet, in the surrender, in the prayer that says, Lord, I choose you. Over everything else, I choose you. You were made for eternity. You were made for Him. Let your heart be whole tonight. Let your soul rest in the truth that you are loved, chosen, and protected by the One who will never let you go. You feel the weight of your faith like a shield in your hands, solid, sure, even when the battle rages all around you. The weapon of faith is not forged in comfort, it is tested in the heat of struggle, tempered by every moment you chose to trust when the world told you to doubt. Tonight, take hold of that shield, that sword, that unshakable promise that you are not abandoned in this fight. For this is the truth, you were made for eternity, and faith is your lifeline to the one who calls you by name. Look at the battles you face, not just the ones outside, but the ones within. The voices of fear, the temptations that whisper in the shadows, the doubt that creeps in when the nights grow long. These are real enemies, but they are not stronger than the one who fights for you. The shield of faith does not promise you will never be wounded, but it promises you will never be defeated. Because your victory is not in your strength, but in His. Do you remember the last time you stood firm in faith, even when every feeling told you to run? That was no small moment. That was a declaration to every power of darkness, I belong to the light. Let that be your prayer tonight, not a prayer of fear, but a prayer of fierce trust. Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief. Teach me to wield this shield, to lift it high when the arrows of doubt come flying. For every doubt is a chance to trust deeper, every fear a chance to cling tighter to the one who is your refuge. You were made for eternity. You were made to stand, even when your knees shake, even when the storm howls around you. And the weapon of faith is not just for the easy days, it is for the nights when you can barely see the way forward. It is for the moments when every part of you wants to give up, yet something inside you says, stand. Just stand. Do you feel that quiet strength rising in your heart? It is not your own. It is the Spirit of God, breathing courage into your bones, filling your lungs with the breath of life. This is the promise of the shield of faith, that you are never alone. That every time you choose to trust, even in the smallest way, heaven itself moves on your behalf. The armies of the Lord stand watch over you, and the victory that was won on the cross is the victory that covers you now. So tonight, let every breath be a prayer of trust. Let every heartbeat echo with the promise, I am His, and He is mine. Let the shield of faith be more than a concept, let it be the armor you wear in every choice, every thought, every word. Because the world will tell you to lay it down, to compromise, to settle for less than the truth. But you were not made to compromise. You were made to stand in the light, to fight with the strength of the one who overcame the world. Ask yourself tonight, where have you laid down your shield? Where have you let the whispers of the world convince you to set aside the promises of God? Bring those places to Him now. Let them be the soil in which your faith grows stronger. Because faith is not about never doubting, it is about choosing to trust again and again, even when you are afraid. And in that choosing, the shield of faith becomes unbreakable. So stand. Stand with your shield held high. Let every breath be a declaration, I trust you, Lord. Even when I am afraid, I trust you. Even when the night is long, I trust you. Because you were made for eternity. You were made for faith that does not bend or break, because it is anchored in the one who is faithful beyond all measure. Tonight, let that be your prayer. Let it be your song in the darkness. Let it be the weapon that turns back every lie of the enemy. You are not alone. You are never alone. The battle is fierce, but the victory is sure. And tonight, as you lift your shield of faith, as you speak the words of trust in the quiet of your soul, know this, you are held. You are protected. And you are loved by the one who will never let you fall. You hear the voices that speak in the night, don't you? The murmurs that twist your thoughts, the doubts that sneak in when you're too tired to fight. When darkness speaks, it does so with cunning, with half-truths that sound almost like wisdom, almost like safety. But you must remember this, the enemy is the father of lies, and every word that pulls you from the Father's love is a counterfeit. You were made for eternity, and the light of Christ is the only voice that leads you home. The darkness is subtle. It doesn't come with horns and fury, it comes with whispers that echo in the quiet, telling you that you are too far gone, that grace is for others but not for you. It comes in the form of every old wound, every shame you thought you buried. Tonight, Let's name it for what it is, a liar's voice that has no claim on you. You were not made for despair. You were not made for shame. You were made for glory, glory that begins in the honest confession of your need. Have you ever noticed how the enemy loves to isolate you? To convince you that no one could understand, that you are alone in your struggle? That's his oldest trick, to turn your gaze inward until all you see is your own failure. But hear me now, Christ did not die to leave you in the dark. He did not rise so that you could stay buried in your shame. He calls you out of the shadows tonight, into the light of his mercy. Let tonight be the night you refuse to listen to the darkness. Let your prayer be a defiance, a refusal to believe that your sin is bigger than his love. Lord, I bring you every voice of fear and doubt. I bring you every lie I've believed. Let your truth break the silence. Because the light of Christ is not gentle with lies. It is a sword that cuts through every shadow, a fire that burns away every chain. This is the heart of spiritual warfare, not some distant battle fought in the clouds, but the daily fight to remember who you are and whose you are. It is the choice to speak truth in the face of lies, to lift your eyes when the night says to lower them. It is the quiet, stubborn act of faith that says, I will not let the darkness have the last word. When did you last speak that truth over your life? When did you last look the enemy in the eye and say, I am a child of God. I am forgiven. I am loved beyond measure. Let tonight be that night. Let every breath be a prayer of resistance. Because the darkness can only whisper, it cannot steal the light that Christ has planted in you. You were made for eternity. You were made to stand, even when the night is long, even when the whispers are loud. And you do not stand alone. The Spirit of God is your strength, the cross of Christ your victory, the mercy of the Father your shield. Let that be your comfort tonight, your unshakable hope when the shadows gather. So take a deep breath. Let the light of his truth fill every corner of your soul. Let it push out every lie, every fear, every whisper that says you are not enough. You are his. You are chosen. And you are not defined by the darkness you have walked through, but by the light that now lives in you. Tonight, let the enemy's voice fall silent in the face of your prayer. Let every word you speak be a reminder to your soul, I am not alone. I am not abandoned. I am held by the one who is light itself. Because this is your inheritance as a child of God, to stand in the light, to live in the truth, to walk in the mercy that no darkness can overcome. You were made for eternity. You were made for light. And tonight, as you lift your voice in prayer, as you let your soul speak with fierce honesty, remember this, the darkness will not have the final word. The light of Christ shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. And you, beloved, chosen, protected, are held in that light, forever. You know what it feels like when the storms come, how the wind howls and the rain falls, how everything you thought was secure seems to tremble in the gale. Life's storms come for all of us, and no one is immune. But tonight, I am calling you to kneel in the storm, to find your shelter not in your own strength, but in the fierce protection of the one who calms every sea. You were made for eternity, and there is no storm that can steal that promise. The world tells you to fight harder, to build your walls higher, to protect yourself with every ounce of your will. But you know in your soul that your walls are not enough. They crack and crumble under the weight of real fear, real doubt, real pain. That is why tonight, I ask you to do the bravest thing of all, surrender. Not to the storm, but to the one who walks upon it, who speaks, peace, be still, and the waves obey. Kneeling in the storm is not defeat, it is the deepest act of faith. It is the choice to say, I will not save myself. I will let you be my Savior. When was the last time you prayed with that kind of surrender? When was the last time you let go of your pride, your plans, your desperate need to be in control? Tonight is the night to lay it down. Let your hands be empty so that he can fill them with his strength. He sees the storm that rages around you. He knows every fear, every doubt, every unspoken prayer that trembles on your lips. And still, he calls you to trust. Because the storm is not stronger than the one who holds you. The waves cannot drown the soul that is anchored in his love. And tonight, he is here, closer than the storm, stronger than the wind, speaking peace to your shaking heart. Do you feel it? That quiet invitation in the middle of the chaos? It is not the call to be fearless by your own might. It is the call to rest in the one whose perfect love casts out all fear. To let his mercy be the shelter that no wind can tear away. This is the heart of protection, not a promise that the storm will never come, but a promise that you will never be alone in it. So tonight, kneel. Kneel in the storm, not as one who is defeated, but as one who knows the strength of the one who holds you. Let every drop of rain become a baptism of trust, every howl of the wind a song that says, I am yours, Lord. Even in this, I am yours. Let the storm be the place where your faith grows roots, where your soul learns that surrender is not weakness, but the truest kind of strength. You were made for eternity. You were made to kneel, to trust, to stand unafraid because you are held by the one who commands the sea. Let tonight be the night you stop fighting for control and start resting in his promise. Let every breath be a prayer that says, Lord, I believe you are here. I believe you are enough. Because he is. He is enough. And no storm can change that truth. The world will always tell you to stand tall, to never bend, to never break. But the way of Christ is different. It is the way of surrender, the way of kneeling in the storm and finding a peace the world cannot give. That peace is yours tonight. That protection is yours tonight. And it is stronger than any storm you will ever face. So take a deep breath. Let the wind blow, let the rain fall, but let your soul be still. Because the one who holds you is stronger than the storm. And tonight, as you kneel, as you surrender, know this, you are not alone. You are seen, you are known, and you are fiercely loved by the one who is your refuge, your stronghold, your shelter in the fiercest night. You were made for eternity. You were made to kneel in the storm and rise again, unafraid. Let tonight be the night you remember who you are and whose you are. Let tonight be the night you say, Lord, I trust you. Even in this. Especially in this. And know that as you speak those words, as you let them become the breath of your soul, you are held, forever. You feel the weight of your hidden sins, the chains you've carried for too long, the thoughts and deeds you hoped no one would ever see. The power of confession is the grace that breaks those chains, that turns your shame into a doorway to mercy. You were made for eternity, and the mercy of God is greater than every sin that tries to claim you. Do you remember the last time you truly confessed? Not just to yourself, but to the one who already knows every dark corner of your soul. Confession is not about humiliation, it is about liberation. It is the courage to say, Lord, I have failed, and I need you. In that honesty, you find the healing that no self-justification can bring. Tonight, let that be your prayer. Let every word of confession be a hammer that breaks the chains of shame. You know the voice of the enemy, how he tells you that your sin is too great, that if people really knew you, they would turn away. But the truth is this, God's mercy is bigger than your greatest failure. His grace is deeper than your deepest wound. And when you confess, when you let the light in, the enemy's voice loses its hold. Because nothing breaks the power of darkness like the light of truth. Have you carried these secrets for too long? Have you let them fester in the hidden places of your soul? Tonight, let them go. Speak them to the Father who sees and loves you still. Speak them and watch the walls you've built around your heart begin to crumble. Because confession is not about punishment, it is about freedom. It is the doorway to the mercy that waits for you with open arms. You were made for eternity. You were made to walk in the light, to let the healing power of confession set you free. Do not let fear keep you in chains any longer. The voice that says you must hide is the voice of the enemy. The voice that says you are loved, even in your brokenness, is the voice of the Father. Listen to him tonight. There is a tenderness in confession that the world does not understand. It is not about shame, it is about the relief of laying down your burdens. It is about the quiet joy of knowing that you do not have to be perfect to be loved. That you do not have to carry this weight alone. Let tonight be the night you taste that joy. Let tonight be the night you find the peace that only comes when you dare to be real. So take a deep breath. Let the words come. Even if they are tangled with tears, even if they are halting and unsure, let them come. Because every word of confession is a step closer to the heart of God. Every word is a refusal to let the past define your future. You were made for eternity, and tonight, you are stepping into that promise. The world will tell you to hide, to bury your shame deep where no one can see it. But the way of Christ is different. It is the way of truth, the way of light, the way of mercy that meets you in the place of your greatest need. Let that mercy wash over you tonight. Let it become the shield that no accusation can pierce. Tonight, let your confession be your prayer. Let it be the song of your soul as you kneel in the quiet. Lord, I am yours. Take every part of me, my failures, my fears, my hidden sins. Make me new. Because He will. He always does. And in that renewal, in that mercy, you will find the protection you have been searching for all along. You were made for eternity. You were made for mercy. And tonight, as you let your soul speak the truth, as you let the light of confession flood every hidden place, know this: you are not alone. You are seen, you are known, and you are fiercely loved by the one who will never let you go. You feel the fragility of your dreams, the way they shatter like glass in the face of life's storms. Hopes you once held tight slip through your fingers, and you wonder if there is any purpose left in the pieces. But tonight, let me remind you, hope is not a fragile thing when it rests in the hands of God. You were made for eternity, and hope is the shield that guards your heart when all else falls away. A shield called hope is not a denial of pain, it is the refusal to believe that pain has the final word. Hope does not mean you will never weep, it means that even your tears are seeds of resurrection. When did you last let hope speak louder than your fear? When did you last let the quiet promise of God's faithfulness rise above the noise of the world's despair? Let tonight be the night you take up that shield again. Because hope is not a vague feeling, it is a certainty grounded in the character of the one who never breaks his word. Even when the night is long, even when the path seems hidden, He is faithful. That is the truth that no lie can destroy. That is the promise that lifts you up when you cannot lift yourself. Let that be your prayer tonight: Lord, restore my hope. Teach me to trust again. You know the places where your dreams have died. The things you once believed would be your purpose, your joy, your safe place. You know how those places have become graves in your heart. But hear this tonight: nothing is too dead for the one who speaks life. Nothing is too far gone for the God who calls dead things to rise. Let that truth be the fire in your bones, the song in your soul, the shield that no despair can break. You were made for eternity. You were made for hope that does not disappoint, because it is anchored in the one who conquered death itself. Let every breath tonight be a prayer that says, I trust you, Lord, even when I cannot see the way. I believe you are working, even when I cannot feel it. Because He is. He is working in the silence, in the waiting, in the very places where your hope feels most fragile. There is a quiet strength in hope that the world cannot understand. It is not loud or boastful, it is steady, unbreakable, rooted in the love that will not let you go. Let that be your refuge tonight. Let it be the song you sing in the darkness, the promise you cling to when everything else falls away. Because the God who holds your future is the same God who holds your trembling heart right now. So take a deep breath. Let the weight of your broken dreams fall into His hands. Let the ache in your soul become the prayer that says, Lord, I surrender. I choose to hope, even here. Because that choice is holy. That choice is the shield that no fear can pierce. And as you make it, again and again, you will find that hope is not a fragile thing at all. It is a fortress, built by the hands of the one who loves you beyond all measure. Tonight, let that shield be your protection. Let it be the reminder that you are never alone, that your future is held in the hands of a Father who is always faithful. You were made for eternity. You were made to live in the light of that hope, to let it shape every choice, every prayer, every breath. Let tonight be the night you rise up in hope. Let it be the night you remember that the end of one dream is not the end of your story. Because the story is His, and it is beautiful beyond anything you can imagine. And tonight, as you kneel in the quiet, as you let the shield of hope settle over your heart, know this: you are held. You are seen. And you are fiercely loved by the one who will never let you fall. You feel the power in the sacraments even if you don't always understand it, the way bread and wine can become the body and blood that heals you, the way water can wash away not just dirt but the burden of your sin. The armor of the sacraments is not a metaphor, it is the living, breathing grace of God poured out for you, a shield that no power of darkness can overcome. You were made for eternity, and the sacraments are the rivers of grace that carry you there. How long has it been since you drank deeply from these rivers? How long since you let the grace of the Eucharist feed your weary soul, since you let the power of confession break the chains you could not break alone? The sacraments are not rituals, they are encounters. Encounters with the living God who longs to pour His mercy into every corner of your heart. Tonight, let that be your prayer: Lord, draw me back to the well of your grace. Teach me to thirst for you again. You know the hunger in your soul, the ache that no pleasure of this world can satisfy. That hunger is holy, it is the echo of eternity written into your bones. And the sacraments are the answer to that hunger. They are the embrace of the Father, the healing touch of the Son, the breath of the Spirit who calls you out of darkness and into the light. Let tonight be the night you remember that you were made for this feast. The world will tell you that grace is just an idea, that holiness is for the perfect few. But the sacraments say otherwise. They say that grace is real, that it flows like a river through the church and into your heart. They say that holiness is not about perfection, but about surrender. Let that truth be the armor you put on tonight. Let it be the promise that steadies your trembling hands. You were made for eternity. You were made for communion with the one who loves you beyond all measure. The sacraments are the bridge between your weakness and His strength, the place where your deepest wounds meet the healing power of His mercy. Do not turn away from that mercy. Do not let the weight of your shame keep you from the well that never runs dry. So tonight, come. Come as you are, broken, weary, hungry for more. Come and let the grace of the sacraments be the shield that no darkness can penetrate. Let every prayer you speak tonight be an echo of the Church's ancient cry: Lord, have mercy. Christ, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. Because in that mercy, you will find the strength to stand. There is a tenderness in the sacraments that no other armor can offer. It is the tenderness of a God who knows you by name, who calls you to His table not because you are worthy, but because He is merciful. Let that mercy be the song in your soul tonight. Let it be the quiet joy that grows in the silence of your prayer. You were made for eternity. You were made to drink deeply of the grace that never ends. And tonight, as you kneel, as you whisper your prayers in the stillness, know this: the sacraments are your armor. They are the promise that you are never alone, that you are never beyond the reach of the one who died to make you His. So take a deep breath. Let your heart rest in the quiet strength of His love. Let the sacraments be your refuge, your shield, your song of hope in the night. Because tonight, as you kneel in the glow of that grace, you are held. You are seen. And you are fiercely loved by the one who will never let you go. You feel the flicker of light in your soul, even when the darkness presses close. The battle to stand in the light is not a one-time victory, it is a daily choice, a moment-by-moment decision to live as a child of the Father's victory. You were made for eternity, and every breath you take in faith pushes back the shadows that seek to claim you. Do you remember who you are? Not just the name the world calls you, but the name written in the heart of God, the name that says, Beloved. chosen, mine. The world will try to make you forget. It will tell you that you are your failures, your fears, your sins. But the light of Christ says otherwise. It says you are His, and nothing can snatch you from His hand. Let that truth be your shield tonight. There is a weight to this calling, to live as a child of the light. It means choosing honesty when lies would be easier, choosing mercy when anger feels justified, choosing love when hate demands your loyalty. This is the narrow way, the hard way. But it is the way of freedom. It is the way of the one who gave everything so that you could live in the light of His love. When was the last time you let that light guide your every step? When was the last time you let it shine into the hidden places of your heart, the fears you bury, the sins you excuse? Let tonight be the night you say, Lord, I will not hide. I will stand in the light, even if it shows every flaw, every wound, every place that still needs healing. Because only in the light can those wounds become the doorway to grace. You were made for eternity. You were made for the light that never fades. And tonight, as you stand in that light, you will find the strength to live as a witness to the world that there is another way. A way of peace in the middle of chaos, a way of hope in the face of despair, a way of mercy that speaks louder than every voice of accusation. Do you feel the invitation in your soul tonight? The gentle whisper that says, "Come, child of light. Come and let me make you new." That is not your imagination. That is the Spirit of God, stirring the deepest places of your heart, calling you to step out of the shadows and into the radiance of His love. So take a deep breath. Let the light in. Let it wash over you like a river of grace, like a sunrise that chases away every lingering night. Let it be the song you sing in the darkness, the promise that steadies your hands when the battle is fierce. Because you were not made to cower in the shadows. You were made to stand in the light. Tonight, let that be your prayer, Lord, make me a child of the light. Let my life be a reflection of your glory. Let every choice I make be a testimony that you are real, that you are good, that you are here. Because He is. He is here. And He is calling you to rise. You were made for eternity. You were made to stand in the light that never fades, to live in the truth that no darkness can overcome. And tonight, as you lift your heart in prayer, as you let the light of Christ fill every corner of your soul, know this, you are not alone. You are seen, you are known, and you are fiercely loved by the one who is light itself. Let the world see the radiance that shines from a soul that has been made new. Let your life be the song of hope that echoes in the darkness. Because tonight, as you stand in the light, you are not just surviving, you are living as a child of the King, a witness to the love that will never let you go. You feel the tug of the battle within you, the temptation that whispers promises of ease, the quiet voice that says surrender is for fools. But hear me tonight, the battle within is real, and every time you choose to stand firm, you declare to the world and to your own soul that you are a child of the living God. You were made for eternity, and every act of resistance against temptation is a step closer to the heart of the Father. The world will tell you that giving in is easier, that the fleeting pleasure of sin is worth the price of your peace. But the Spirit within you says otherwise. He says you are stronger than the voices that lure you away. He says that grace is more than enough to break every chain. Tonight, let that be your prayer, Lord, give me the courage to stand firm. Give me the strength to choose you over every counterfeit joy. Do you know how powerful that choice is? Every time you say no to temptation, you are not just denying sin, you are proclaiming the victory of Christ in your life. You are saying that His love is worth more than the cheap substitutes the world offers. You are saying that your soul is made for holiness, not for the hollow satisfaction of passing pleasures. When was the last time you stood firm when everything in you wanted to give in? Let tonight be the night you remember that victory does not always feel like triumph, it feels like faith. It feels like the quiet, stubborn choice to trust that God's way is better, even when the world screams otherwise. It feels like lifting your eyes from the darkness to the one who is light itself. You were made for eternity. You were made to fight the good fight, not with your own strength, but with the power of the one who lives in you. Let that power be your shield tonight. Let it be the prayer that rises from your soul: Lord, I am weak, but you are strong. Let your strength be my refuge. Let your spirit be my guide. The battle within will never be easy, but it is holy. It is the daily dying to self that makes room for resurrection life. It is the quiet death of every selfish desire that opens your heart to the fullness of His love. And in that dying, in that surrender, you will find a peace the world cannot give. So take a deep breath. Let every temptation become a chance to trust deeper, to lean harder on the one who has already won the war. Let every battle within you be a prayer that says, Lord, I choose you. Even here, even now, I choose you. Because that choice is the heartbeat of your faith. It is the song of your soul, the anthem of the saints who have gone before you. You were made for eternity. You were made to stand, even when it costs you everything. And tonight, as you lift your heart in prayer, as you let the Spirit of God breathe courage into your bones, know this: you are not alone. You are seen, you are known, and you are fiercely loved by the one who has already claimed the victory. Let that truth be your strength tonight. Let it be the promise that steadies your shaking hands, the hope that keeps you standing when the world tells you to fall. Because tonight, as you fight the battle within, you are not just holding on, you are holding fast to the one who holds you. You were made for eternity. You were made to stand, to fight, to live as a witness to the power of grace. And tonight, as you pray, as you breathe, as you stand firm in the quiet of your soul, know this: you are held, you are protected, and you are loved beyond measure. You feel the weight of your wounds, the places in your heart that still ache with every breath. The scars of your past, the failures that haunt your dreams, they are real, and they are heavy. But tonight, let me tell you the truth you've longed to hear: your wounds are not your shame, they are the doorway to His glory. You were made for eternity, and even your scars can become the path to holiness. The world will tell you to hide your wounds, to cover them up with 1,000 distractions. But the cross tells a different story. It says that every wound is a place where His light can shine brightest. It says that every scar can become a testimony to His mercy, every broken place a sign of His faithfulness. Let that be your prayer tonight: Lord, take my wounds and make them holy. Let every scar speak of your grace. When was the last time you let Him touch those wounds? Not just the surface hurts, but the deep places where you still flinch when you remember. Let tonight be the night you stop running from the pain and start bringing it to the one who heals. Because He is the healer of hearts, the mender of souls, and no wound is too deep for His mercy to reach. You were made for eternity. You were made for healing that goes deeper than the surface, for a redemption that turns even your sorrows into songs of hope. Let every breath tonight be a prayer that says, Lord, I give you my brokenness. Make it beautiful in your hands. Because that is what He does. He takes the fragments of your story and weaves them into something holy, something that speaks of His love in a world that so desperately needs to see it. Do you feel the ache in your heart tonight? Let it rise like incense to the throne of grace. Let it be the prayer that says, I will not let my wounds define me. I will let them remind me of the one who bore every wound for my sake. Because in His wounds, you find the healing you've been searching for. In His wounds, you find the strength to stand when you have no strength of your own. So take a deep breath. Let the weight of your past fall into His hands. Let the ache of your soul become the prayer that says, Lord, I trust you with my pain. I trust you with every scar. Because He is the one who turns weeping into dancing, mourning into songs of joy. He is the one who promises that nothing is wasted in His kingdom, not even your deepest hurts. You were made for eternity. You were made to let your wounds become the testimony of His love. And tonight, as you kneel in the quiet, as you lift your eyes from the darkness to the light of His mercy, know this: you are not alone. You are seen, you are known, and you are fiercely loved by the one who will never let you go. Let your wounds speak of His glory tonight. Let them be the story of a soul that was lost and has been found, a heart that was broken and has been made whole. Because in the hands of the one who was wounded for your sake, your scars are not the end of your story, they are the beginning of your song. You were made for eternity. You were made to live in the light of that love, to let every scar become a testament to the grace that has carried you this far. And tonight, as you breathe, as you pray, as you let the healing begin, know this: you are held. You are protected. And you are loved by the one who has turned even your wounds into a path of holiness. You feel the quiet of God's mercy in the stillness of your soul tonight. It's a peace that passes understanding, a refuge that no storm can breach. You were made for eternity, and His mercy is the safe haven where your weary heart can finally rest. Let that truth wrap around you like a cloak tonight: you are loved. You are forgiven. You are home. The world will tell you that mercy is weakness, that you must earn your place and prove your worth. But the cross says otherwise. It says that mercy is the strength of the one who laid down his life so that you could live. It says that there is no wound too deep, no sin too great, that His mercy cannot cover. Let that be your prayer tonight: Lord, let your mercy wash over me. Let it be the song in my soul. When was the last time you let yourself simply be in the presence of that mercy? No striving, no hiding, just resting in the love that calls you beloved, even when you feel unworthy. Let tonight be the night you lay down every burden of shame and let His mercy speak the final word over your life. Because the final word is always love. You were made for eternity. You were made to live in the quiet of His mercy, to let it be the anchor that holds you fast when the world demands your soul. Do you feel the invitation tonight? The gentle whisper in your spirit that says, "Come, child. Come and rest." That is not your imagination, it is the voice of the one who has loved you from the very beginning. There is a softness in mercy that the world does not understand. It is not about ignoring sin or pretending the wounds do not hurt. It is about looking them full in the face and knowing that you are still loved, still chosen, still safe in the hands of the Father. Let that mercy be the balm for your soul tonight. Let it be the prayer that says, "Lord, I am yours. All of me, my failures, my fears, my hopes, my dreams. All of me." So take a deep breath. Let every wall around your heart crumble in the presence of His mercy. Let every doubt fall silent in the light of His love. Because you are not your past. You are not your fears. You are the beloved child of the God who delights in showing mercy. Let tonight be the night you believe that with your whole heart. You were made for eternity. You were made to stand in the quiet of that mercy and let it become your strength. The world will keep trying to pull you back into fear, into striving, into shame. But tonight, stand firm in the truth that you are covered by grace. That His mercy is not just an idea, it is the shield that no darkness can overcome. Let your prayer tonight be a simple one: Lord, I receive your mercy. Let it be the foundation of my life. Let it be the song in my soul. Because that mercy is real. It is yours tonight. And it is the promise that you are never alone, never abandoned, never beyond the reach of the one who calls you His own. You were made for eternity. You were made for mercy. And tonight, as you kneel in the quiet, as you let every breath become a prayer of gratitude, know this: you are held. You are seen. And you are fiercely loved by the one who has called you out of darkness into His marvelous light. You feel the stirring in your soul tonight, the quiet whisper that says you were made for more. Mission is not just for the few, it is the call of every soul that has tasted the mercy of God. You were made for eternity, and you were made to share that eternity with the world. Let tonight be the night you say yes to the mission of unshakable faith. The world will tell you to keep your faith private, to hide the fire in your heart. But the gospel says otherwise. It says that the light of Christ is not meant to be hidden, that the mercy you have received is meant to be poured out in love. Let that be your prayer tonight: Lord, make me a vessel of your grace. Let my life be a testimony to your faithfulness. When was the last time you let your faith move you to action? When did you last look at the world around you and see it as a field ripe for harvest? Let tonight be the night you remember that you are not just called to believe, you are called to be light in the darkness, hope in the despair, love in the places where hate seems to reign. You were made for eternity. You were made for mission. Not because you are strong enough on your own, but because the Spirit within you is the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead. Let that power be your courage tonight. Let it be the breath that turns your prayers into action, your quiet faith into a force of love that cannot be ignored. Do you feel the weight of that calling? Do you feel the holy ache in your soul that says, "There is more. There is always more"? That is the voice of the one who sends you, the one who says, "Go, and I will be with you." Let tonight be the night you say yes, not in fear, but in faith. So take a deep breath. Let your prayer tonight be a prayer of surrender. Lord, send me. Use me. Let my life be the answer to the cries of a world that does not yet know your love. Because you were made for eternity, and that eternity begins here and now, in every choice to love, every act of mercy, every moment when you choose to stand in the light. The mission is not about grand gestures or perfect words. It is about living in the quiet faithfulness of every day, letting your life speak the truth that the world is desperate to hear. It is about letting your light shine, even when it feels small, because the smallest light is enough to break the deepest darkness. You were made for eternity. You were made to be a witness to the love that has saved you, to the mercy that has healed you, to the hope that has carried you through every night. And tonight, as you kneel in the quiet, as you let your soul speak the prayer of a heart that longs to serve, know this: you are not alone. You are seen, you are known, and you are fiercely loved by the one who has called you to this mission. Let your prayer tonight be this: Lord, let my life be yours. Let every breath, every word, every step be an offering of love to you and to the world you love. Because that is the mission. That is the call. And that is the promise that you will never walk alone. You were made for eternity. You were made for mission. And tonight, as you whisper your yes in the quiet, as you let your heart be set on fire by His love, know this: you are held. You are protected. And you are loved by the one who has called you to go and be His light in the darkness. You feel the glow of His love in your soul tonight, the quiet assurance that you are held, that you are safe, that you are cherished beyond all measure. Living in His radiance is not just a moment, it is a way of being. It is the choice to let His light flood every part of you, to become a living testimony of protection and trust. You were made for eternity, and tonight, that eternity begins in your heart. The world will always try to dim that light, to tell you that trust is weakness, that surrender is foolishness. But the truth is this: His light is the strongest force in the universe, and you are a vessel of that light. Let that be your prayer tonight: Lord, let your light fill me. Let it shine through every word, every thought, every choice. When was the last time you let His light be the source of your confidence, the anchor of your hope? Let tonight be the night you stop measuring your worth by the standards of a world that does not see your soul. Let tonight be the night you let His love define you, His grace sustain you, His protection be the shelter you run to when the storms of life rage. You were made for eternity. You were made to live in the radiance of the one who spoke light into the darkness and called you His own. Let every breath tonight be a prayer that says, Lord, let me shine for you. Let my life be a reflection of your love. Because in that radiance, you will find the courage to face whatever comes. In that radiance, you will find the peace that the world cannot take away. Do you feel the warmth of His presence tonight? That is not your imagination. That is the promise of Emmanuel, God with us. He is with you in the quiet, in the storm, in the sacred stillness of your prayer. And in His presence, you are made new. So take a deep breath. Let every doubt fall away in the light of His love. Let every fear lose its power in the face of the one who has already overcome the world. Because you were not made to live in shadows. You were made to live in the light of His glory, to let that light spill out of your life like a river of hope. The world needs that light. The world needs you, but only after you have been with him. Only after you have let his love heal every wound, his mercy wash away every stain, his protection wrap around you like a cloak of fire. Let tonight be the night you remember that you are not just a survivor, you are a witness, a bearer of the eternal flame of Christ. You were made for eternity. You were made to be a beacon of the one who has called you, who has kept you, who will never let you go. And tonight, as you kneel in the quiet, as you let every breath be a prayer of gratitude and hope, know this: you are not alone. You are seen, you are known, and you are fiercely loved by the one who is your light and your salvation. Let tonight be the night you rise, clothed in his radiance, secure in his love, unshakable in his protection. Because this is who you are, beloved, chosen, protected, and sent. And this is your prayer: Lord, let my life be yours. Let my light shine for you, now and forever. Tonight, as the final echoes of your prayer fade into the stillness, remember this: you are held in the eternal arms of the one who will never let you go. You have walked through the darkness, you have faced the lies, you have stood in the storm, and tonight, you have chosen the light. This is the beginning of a new journey, a journey of trust, of hope, of fierce love that will not be shaken. The world will keep trying to pull you back, to whisper that the night is stronger than the dawn. But let this moment be the proof that light has already won. Let every choice you make from this night forward be a declaration of the truth you now carry in your soul: you are his. You are loved. And you are never alone. The promise of God is not just for the easy days, it is for every moment, every breath, every step you take in faith. His protection is the shield you carry into the battle, the peace that fills you even in the fiercest storm. And his mercy is the promise that no matter how many times you fall, his arms will always be there to lift you up. So go. Go with a heart set on eternity, with eyes fixed on the one who calls you his own. Go, and let the radiance of his love shine from every corner of your life. The world needs you. But only after you have been with him. Now go. And do not come back to the old life. You are not alone anymore. God bless you.